We've all come across one, maybe even a number of these people in our time. But I guess the way of sort of shorthand describing it is those people who you meet, who you riff with. You could finish each other's sentences, but it runs deeper than that. You can sense something within them that is connected to you on a level that you don't understand or wouldn't even care to understand. You're just happy it exists. It's a bit of the energy that we probably would like to think magic would be. Something very special and just so far from seeming viable as a physical manifestation in the world with all the physical laws and everything that apply. I met a guy he was a tattoo artist, and me and him had that connection about 10 years ago. My then partner had her lip pierced with him, and she was with us, and she could sense it straight away. He had a character that was my doppelganger. If anything, like with a lot of people, he was a much more balanced and nicer version of me. I think as I've got older, I've improved, but some of the mistakes I've made, even in the last 12 months, are just so monumental with regards to ego and just basic stupidity. It's all, I can safely say that later in life my mistakes are all well-meaning. That's one thing that has changed, especially in the last six or so months. My mistakes have been honest mistakes as opposed to manipulative or thinking about what I could achieve and what I could gain from any given situation. But when you come across those people who you can just talk to, the term soulmates is quite often bandied around, and I think that we very naively and rather uniformly and in a very conformist fashion always think that a soulmate is somebody who we're going to be romantically linked with. I think that if there is even a vague attraction there, it's going to be inevitable that you do at least try the romantic route, and fair play to it, there's nothing wrong with that. I think having had a very strong connection within a relationship with one person in my life, had so many dalliances in relationships, and well, not too many, but just enough to be able to feel like I'm sort of well versed enough to have an opinion about multiple situations. That all of the businesses of self-help, and particularly with the sort of things as crass as good sex manuals, if your love life's shite, this is how to make it better. It either works or it doesn't. If you connect with somebody on that deep level, your physical life together will just work. And if it doesn't work, you're not with the wrong person, you're just not with a fireworks person. It's as simple as that, And for years I used to just think, that fireworks in the sky bullshit, it doesn't exist. And then I discovered it, and wow, it's incredible. But it's not the sexual side of this that I'm interested in. It is just that undeniable link that we have with some people that works on such an obscure and deep level. And sometimes you can meet one of those people and mistakenly think, you've got to meet so-and-so, you'll really, really hit it off with them, and I'd love to hear your appraisal of them, and all of a sudden you'll see this person who is so deep and so in tune with you just collapse into nothingness, and you'll just think, there's just no communication possible between these two people. It is quite often a connection that comes into being when two people are together. I've heard people say that when they're in the company of certain people, another person manifests, a sort of third person exists when they're together, and I'm very, very aware of that being a figurative reality. People who connect on such a deep level that you could be led to believe you've got to meet so-and-so. I'd love to hear you talking to them, and they may be so similar, but there's just that circuitry that exists between you and them that just doesn't exist between them and them, And it fascinates me seeing so many people who want 100% of their circuitry to be in sync with the people around them or the special person that they've chosen. And it's not to say that isn't a very special person, but no matter how many self-help books you get, how many guides to spirituality or good sex or whatever it may be that you're pining for, unless your circuitry aligns perfectly, which is a gift bestowed upon so few by the gods, as it were, that so many people live their life so disappointed with their choices. And I think that's sad, I really do. I think that so many people look for the unobtainable within the choices they've made of people that they need around them to satisfy a human being's need for certain things like company, conversation, as adults, and a sex life and everything like that. But it's just so amazing seeing people choosing such suitable people in most respects, but life leads us to believe, or we're fully aware that gift that's bestowed upon so few by the gods, that we know it's there somewhere, and we try and project it as a failure onto other people when it's never a failure. It's just a situation where we just know each other, we know ourselves to such a lacking degree, really, in those ways that we think that we can read those things into existence, and they either exist or they don't.